Chapter 11. Reflective Practice Using Assessment Data. The learning outcomes. At the end of the chapter, the student should be able to demonstrate reflective self-assessment using learner assessment data and other reflective aids for purposes of adjusting one teaching practices and for the purposes of growing in the profession, and explain how the professional reflection and learning can be used to improve teaching practice. Introduction. After learning how to assess student learning by way of authentic assessment methods and tools, this chapter is now focused on the assessment of your own teaching practice as a future teacher. The assessment of your own teaching practice will be discussed based on learners' attainment data as revealed in test score and non-test data, and on your teaching performance as evaluated by your student, your peers, and your supervisor. If the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and in the proof of the teaching performance is the learning and performance of her student after you have taught them. Necessary, teacher can have examine learner performance if they want to really know how to effective they are in their portfolio or e-portfolio as discussed in the earlier chapter. K takes away. Reflective practice is beyond casual thinking, so it requires a conscious effort to think about events and develop insight from them. Reflective practice means teacher exploring their own beliefs and assumptions about learners, teaching, learning, and assessment. For continuing improvement, teacher must develop the habit of reflective teaching and assessment. The most reliable proof of effective teaching and assessment practice is student learning manifested in the attainment of learning outcome as expressed in the test score and grades. Other proofs of effective teaching are favorable evaluation, comments from student, peer, and supervisor. For improved teaching, teacher must consider suggested points for improvement as gathered from evaluation, comments of the student, peers, and supervisor. Learners' attainment data can be used to help learners achieve mastery. In order to achieve this, teachers needs to prove extra effort and free teaching for learners who need a little additional reassurance before the lesson start. Set aside time for same-day intervention to give struggling learners a second chance to master the day lessons. Provide extra scaffolding or supporting resources in a lesson, and give additional strength and challenge for learners who are ready to go deeper. Teachers show reflective practice when they track learner attainment of learning targets by using some common strategies like color coding, marking diaries, and bookmark objectives cards. To monitor and evaluate learner progress and achievement, the teacher can use different documents such as daily lesson log or DLL for a week, which show the lesson for each day with the next index of mastery computed accordingly. Collaborate. Number 1. Professional reflection and learning are used to improve teaching practice in the way the professional reflection inform teacher about what his or her own performance or thinking about what he said do and how effective the teacher is. It also encourages teacher to explore their own beliefs and assumptions about learners. Like for example, if the teacher discover and he or she is not too effective or has a low performances, teacher will find the way to solve the problem, give extra effort, change teaching strategies, and etc. to improve their teaching performance. In professional reflection help to improve the teaching practice. Number 2, student can evaluate their teacher by asking them how effective their teacher are, and their feedback to it is one of the proof, but the best evidence of it is the test score of the student. Non-test data of the student, how they learn, perform, and change their attitude, motivation, and values. Even if they don't have mastery history, their feedback is the best evidence for evaluation of their teacher. Number 3, no man is an island. We all know that we can assess our health on our own. We also need someone who will give feedback to us, toward to us. Students help teacher to assess their own teacher. For example, gathering information to the student about their experience to your class, like giving survey, open-minded feedback form, and etc., is one of the source and basis of the teacher about their teaching performance. Peer evaluation help teacher assess their own teaching. For example, it helps in pointing out the strengths and weaknesses of that a teacher faces at the ground level. Peer can also offer critique and support their colleagues. Another example on how peer evaluation help teacher to assess their own teaching in the way that asking feedback or peer or having collaboration in making lesson plan, constructing criteria, and demo teaching. From the feedback, teacher can assess their own teaching performance. Supervisor evaluation help teacher assess their own teaching because the result of teacher supervision by school head are in source of data for assessment of teaching performance on which teacher must reflect to further improve their teaching practice. Check for understanding. 1D, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6D. Research. The sample daily lesson log and electronic class records serve as valuable tools for teachers to organize their lesson, monitor student progress, reflect on their practice, and make informed instructional decisions. By utilizing these tools effectively, teachers can enhance their teaching skill, promote student engagement and achievement, and continuously improve their teaching practice. Reflection. By Adrian Philip. Reflective practice. Develop your ability to understand how your student learn and the best way to teach them. By reflecting on your teacher teaching, you identify and barriers to learning that your student have. You then create lesson plan which reteach any content which your student have not been able to assess to allow them to overcome any obstacle and develop. Being reflective will also make sure you have a wider range or skill as you find new ways to teach. This will develop your confidence in the classroom as you find the best way to deliver your knowledge of a subject. From Blante Robijoy, for me, this is when I advise my co-teacher and also actively analyze your experience and needs to aid in your own improvement and development. For instance, an athlete can practice reflectively by considering the errors they made during a training session and coming up the solution to prevent them in the future. As a future professional engaging in reflective practice through the analysis of learners' attainment data and evaluation comments from teacher, peers, and supervisor, school head, I can continuously grow as effective and responsive educator, adapting my teaching approaches to better meet the needs of my student and promote their learning outcomes. Busadre Beverly, as a future teacher, I will consider and acknowledge the professional reflection using the test scores, academic achievements, skills, and attitude and behavior of my student, and also the judgment, comments, and critique of my peers and supervisors, school head, because I believe in the saying that no man is an island. And I think beside having your own reflection or self-reflection, I think it would really help to ask other about your performance. In my point of view, asking help to other about you will really help to know and discover yourself more, because there are things so that don't notice or observe in yourself that are seen by others. So professional reflective practice will help every teacher to know their self more and can lead a positive effect like improve their self-confidence and improve their teaching performance. In short, reflective practice will help everybody, not just the teacher itself, but the student, peer, supervisor, school head too. Cornelio Reynolin. As a future professional teacher, I'll follow the suggested point of others, and I will use the favorable evaluation comments from student, peers, and supervisor. To observe my reflective practice, I will use daily lesson log for a week, which show the lesson for each day with index of mastery computed accordingly. Dumagsang Merlin, well, I will use the learner attainment data and evaluation comments from learner, peers, and supervisor school heads to further reflect on it, because a future teacher we have to be conscious about the insight of other. Teacher must consider suggested point for their improvement. Liagas Jasame, as a future professional teacher, we need to dedicate our time and effort and reflecting and observing evaluation from different persons who are belong to the educational field. We should practice evaluating, analyzing, and reflecting in our own doing to become a better professional teacher. We should listen, embrace criticism, and feedback from student, teacher, and other staff, because it can help to have a better progress in our teaching profession. Malati currency. It helps teacher to take informed action that can be justified and explained to others, and that can be used to guide further action. It allows teacher to adjust and respond to issue. It helps teacher to become aware of their underlying beliefs and assumptions about learning and teaching. Observing reflective practice involves a systematic and intentional process of examining one's own teaching practice and the impact they have as student learning. As a teacher, you can use learner attainment data and evaluation comment from various sources to inform your reflective practice. The most important details are to collect and analyze learners' attainment data, review evaluation comments, reflect on teaching, practice, development, and action plan. Implement and monitor the action plan and collect new data and feedback to evaluate the impact of the changes. You can use learner attainment data and evaluation comment to inform your reflective practice as a teacher and improve your effectiveness in the classroom. Student reflection. Student reflection on the following. Number 1, what did we learn from this portfolio? In making a portfolio, we learned that teacher a lot of different types of portfolio that we can use in our studies when we are going to apply for work and many more. A portfolio made us realize the importance of someone's effort to recognize by the use of his or her activities. In that case, we will see and look back the output that we've done, and we can see the fruit of our hard work in the end. In additional, this output also help to improve our intellectual skill by answering those questions and the like. Number 2, what did we do well? In making a portfolio, we did well is the collaboration of our group. Before, we are not much open to everyone, but because of making a portfolio, we become as one. A portfolio is our bridge to close the gap in our group, and we are so happy to see the effort and cooperation of all without hesitation for the betterment of our e-portfolio. Number 3, what do we want to improve in this item? In making this e-portfolio, there's a lot of things that we want to improve in our group, even individually. In our group, we want to improve our connection, communication, collaboration, and unity, because we know that those things has a big help for us in working and finishing our e-portfolio successfully and productivity. While in individual, our goal is to improve our critical thinking, understanding, and knowledge in this subject, improve our skill using the different application techniques and strategy in teaching, and our emotional strength in handling our stress, pressure, and personal problems. We want also improve our time management and organization skill. 4. How do we feel about our performance? We are happy, thankful, grateful, and satisfied for our individual and group performance, because even though we face difficulties, problems, and challenges, everyone cooperate and do our best to accomplish our task, and we feel that our friendship must become stronger, and we learn that unity, hard work, and effort is very important in a group and individual performance. Last, what 5, what were the problems area we meet in this course? In making a portfolio, the problems that we encounter in this subject course: first, the technical issue. Many students are not provided with high bandwidth or strong internet connection that online courses required, and those fail to catch up with their virtual classmates. Their weak monitors make it hard to follow the course management system, and their learning experience become problematic. And of course, the time management difficult task for e-learners, as online courses require a lot of time and intensive work. Furthermore, whereas it is mostly adult who prepare web-based learning program for their place and time flexibility, they rarely have the time to take the courses due to their various everyday commitments.